Hi, everyone. We are the Data Wranglers, and since January of this year, we've teamed up with a sponsor from Azure Microsoft, Joshua Rakita, to create a software deployment tracker for his team. My name is Sahiti. I'm a PM and data engineer on this team. We have Amanda, our lead SDE, Andrea, a UX designer and SDE, and Simon, the lead data engineer for this project.
So to give some context on our problem, basically our goal is to track and visualize software deployment instances. So the main areas of concern we found through our user research was that there is ad hoc querying, which is pretty inefficient, manual querying through SQL, which was inaccessible if there were users who didn't know SQL on the team, and then the current dashboard had no historical view of the data.
After exploring our problem context, we came up with the following problem statement. How can Microsoft engineers and managers track data about current and previous software version deployments to understand more about the regions they come from, as well as their success and causes of failure? Going off of that, we then gathered some user research insights where we prioritized the clarity and interactivity of our visualizations in order to accommodate for the different roles within the Microsoft team.
Here we have Adiva, who is a project manager at Microsoft. She just joined a couple weeks ago, and so is rusty on her SQL. She wants to be able to group deployments together based on elements such as region, version, and component types. By using our solution, she's able to view trends and features of deployments and communicate with engineers on the team in terms of which deployments to focus on.
So the key concepts we based our solution off of was first that a table and graph view together would both be useful for users for their data analysis. The second was that there'd be users that were beyond the immediate Azure team that we were working with. So we had to make sure we had accessible language and everyone could understand how to use our solution. And then users would only need to use the data and view the data on the front end, so nothing, no need for a post API or anything like that. And then users really needed a very customizable data solution, so lots of filtering options and different data visualization options as well.
To ensure these concepts and assumptions we made, we had our first round of interviews in which we talked to PMs and we took their suggestions in and changed aspects of our solution, such as filter and graph placement. Then we had a second round of interviews with PMs and engineers, and this was our set of user interviews, and we made sure to see if our current solution was addressing the pain points in the dashboard that the team is currently using, and we were able to confirm that our solution fit the user's needs.
So for our solution, we first developed a backend relational database to track all of our deployment data. And then we have an API that connects our backend relational database to our front-end web application that Amanda will talk more about in our demo video.
As a software engineer or program manager at Microsoft, I can look at the deployment release tracker and see all the software deployment instances stored on this database. So over here, I can look at this map to see the number of deployment instances per region. And then I can also come over to the bar chart and see the number of deployment instances by version over time. I can filter this database by, for example, all storage components as well. So component equals storage, and I can add this filter. Then I can also add a date filter, so date greater than, for example, April 1st, and add an additional filter layer. I can come over to the table, and if I didn't want to see this many columns, I could hide one of them. So for example, grouping number I could hide. And if I wanted to bring it back, I could click any column and click show columns and toggle grouping number back on.
So in terms of the ethical considerations, we have two main values: maintaining data security and developing for both non-technical and technical users. So to address the data security, we wanted to make sure that our database remained the source of truth. So we used demo data for developing our solution and made sure that there was no manual editing features to the database. For developing for technical and non-technical users, that mainly referred to PMs and engineers. So we definitely made sure to interview a range of different people in different roles to make sure that we were able to address everyone's needs.
So next steps for our project, we'll be updating the README for the GitHub, so that way everyone knows how to start up the app, leaving detailed comments for the actual code, and giving a final presentation to the actual Microsoft team. And finally, we have a landing page as well that kind of goes, gives a brief overview of the project, some key features, a demo, and our team.
So thank you so much for listening to our presentation.